See you later. Hello, 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 everybody. How you doing? Come on in. Coach Hadassah here. How you doing today? We're going to get into this topic. It's interesting. It is very, very interesting topic. It's something that I saw earlier, um, and it's something that really needs to be discussed because we are living in some times where there are two things happening. There is a world that we know that is falling away, and at the same time that that is happening, there is a new world that is being built. All right. So we have to be aware and conscious of where we are in the scheme of things, right? And this involves a lot, right? It involves our health, it involves our wealth, it involves all of that. So come on in. I want to make sure that I get some things shown here before we go ahead and get started. So I am, let's see. Yep, there we go. Cool. So let me introduce myself. I am Coach Hadassah of House of Hadassah. If you check me out, you want to check me out on YouTube, Facebook. If you're streaming or looking at this anywhere other than YouTube, then what I ask you to do is to make sure that you go on YouTube. It's either above or below where you will see the link that'll take you straight to the YouTube channel. And you want to go ahead and subscribe and share, right? So you can get more of these live videos that will be, you know, going on like moving forward. Okay, today is Friday. It is Freedom Friday. So that's the reason why we want to talk about this very thing today, right? Because look, there's a word that can go forth that will help to free your mind, right? It can free your mind, it can free your body, it can free your finances, it can just free you emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physically, even socially, like all of these different levels that we have, it can free you. So again, you want to go ahead wherever you are, go ahead, click like and share this with some other people because it can help free them as well, right? So again, I am Coach Hadassah. I'm a metaphysician, financial wellness coach, a forex entrepreneur, and what I do is I help people to restore their health and their wealth because guess what, good health and wealth is our birthright, right? It's our birthright. We all were born with everything that we needed in us, right? Inside of us when we hit the earth, right? And we came here for a purpose. And of course, there are adverse forces. It just is. That's the way of life, right? On here, on this planet Earth, there are adverse forces that will attempt to, hinder you or block you from carrying out your purpose for why you're here. But guess what? You are stronger. You are more powerful than any force that will come up against you because you came from spirit source. And again, everything that you have is right within you. So today we're going to talk about this topic, right? It's about these sickness, illnesses, and dis-ease. I'm going to say it as two words and not one because the root word of that word disease is ease. And then there's a prefix on it, right? That prefix is dis. And dis, it means not, right? So we were born and created to really be at ease, right? A flow of ease. And then that blockage that I just talked about, right? That blockage or that hindrance or that adversity is that dis. to cause you to not be at ease. So that's what disease is, the body that's not at ease. And then why is it not at ease? Oh my gosh. Let me tell you something. First of all, it has to do with beliefs. And we just don't come here with beliefs. We're actually taught beliefs. Okay. First of all, it starts in our homes with our parents. Okay. And then outside of the home with, where we grew up, the environment, right? The neighborhood, the community, because in that community is what you got: schools, you have your churches or your religious organizations. We have television, even to where we tune in to the television or radio stations, and then not only that, there are advertisements and things like that billboards and all of these things that, guess what? There are words that are being, you know, put out there and exchanged, and we learn through repetition. We learn through repetition. Something that's repeated over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Very consistent in whatever messaging. And we tend to take that on, and it becomes our beliefs, right? It becomes our belief system. Now, here's the thing about it. Some of those things and some of those beliefs are very adverse to who we are and our purpose, what we came here to do. It's adverse to it. So then our mind and our body starts to function in a way that's opposing of how we really came here to be and how we really operate, or should operate, or supposed to operate, right? Very, very adverse. So the thing about it is, our first 7 years of life, the first 7, our mind is operating in a theta state or a hypnotic state. Okay. Now, do your research on frequencies. We talk about that a lot. That's the big thing now, where it's the frequency and the vibrations, and tune up your frequency and vibrate this way or that way, right? Do your research on these vibrations or these frequencies, right? You got alpha, you have beta, you have theta, you have delta, you have all of these frequencies, okay? But our first 7 years of life, our minds, we're operating in a theta state, and it's a hypnotic state. So really, we're being programmed. Our subconscious mind is being programmed within the first 7 years of life. And guess what? That doesn't even have anything to do with us. It does, but then it doesn't. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, we are not the ones who are programming ourselves, right? It's our parents are the ones that have guardianship over us, right? They're our parents, our original source from where we came from and came through to this physical existence. So our parents are the ones that are responsible and accountable for our programming, upbringing, the environments that they put us in or that they allow us to be in. That's the first 7 years of our life. And then from there, it's just a building on that. We start operating in that way, the first 7 years of life, right? And then we start to, be more conscious or intentional in things that we start to do. However, that subconscious programming overrides a lot of the things that we choose to do consciously, right? Think about it. We really have three brains or three minds within our body. There's one in the head cavity, which we'll say, oh, it's our brain. The mind is functioning through the brain organ because it's an organ, right? Big old muscle, but it's an organ. So the mind is actually functioning through the brain with all of its nerves and the synapses and the dendrites and all of these things. So that's the first one. And where we get the intel, right? This is where we get the word intelligent or intellectual from. The root word of that is intel. What is intel? It's an input of information. Okay. And our mind, right, in the head cavity or that brain, it only retains about 10% of the information that we receive. Only 10%. Now, the repetition, that part comes in that works on the second brain, which is in our heart. We have a heart brain. So this brain, through repetition, is again programmed through that repetitious over and over and over and over again. And think about it. This is the reason why we'll say something like, oh, I know that by heart. Or say you're somewhere and then you're driving home, or somewhere that you frequent on a regular basis. Don't you know how to get there? Do you need to think about it? Do you need to pull up your GPS system? Do you have to ask for directions? No. You know exactly how to get there. You're on autopilot. Like, say, for instance, yesterday, I was I was going somewhere. I had took a friend with me, and when we were leaving, before that, I had said, I was like, yeah, after we finish, we're going to go over here and get something to eat. Now, because I take this trip repetitiously about every 2 weeks on a Thursday, right? I go there and I get back on the expressway to go back home. So now and that's the only thing I do. Like, I go to that place and then I go back home. Like, I don't stop anywhere along the way or whatever. Or if I do those stops closer to home than I do, at the place that I go to. That's a little bit further out from where I live. So the only thing that was different was that this time someone was with me besides my children. And I said, we're going to stop over here and get something to eat before we, go back. Well, guess what? Leaving, I just on autopilot drove the way I usually drive and was about to get on the expressway. And she said, wait, where you going? We're going over here to get something to eat. I said, oh, shoot, I did say that, right? Repetition. Okay, this is what I do all the time. So something different, I had to, it's like, oh, think about it. But usually I didn't need to think about that, right? We're getting back to the house. So that's our heart brain. And it holds 90% of the information, okay, that we take in. Okay. So this is the reason why when you're learning something, you have to do it over and over and over and over again. We talk about muscle memory. Well, this is a muscle, but the heart is a muscle too. Okay. Muscle memory over and 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 over again. All right. Before it becomes something that you don't have to intellectually think about. It's just in the heart. And then there's another brain. It's in our gut or the solar plexus. Okay. That's the third brain. All right. And of course, this is what this is operates on what we eat, right? What we're feeding ourselves. But then not only what we're feeding ourselves, through physical means of our food and things like that. But then that solar plexus, if you're aware of chakras, we're going to talk about that, with the chakras and aligning the chakras and all of that type of stuff. But that has to do with, that solar plexus is our seat of intuition. Okay. It's just when you get that feeling in your gut. That's what we'll call it. The gut. I felt that in my gut. You just get this energy that you feel that sits, about I'm gonna stand up a little bit. About right up in here. Right? Okay, but then think, that's our stomach is in that area too. Okay, and it's an organ. It's an organ. It's a muscle as well, right? So it's not only, but it is programmed by what we physically take in as food. So of course we need to be aware of that. Now, where am I going with this, and why did I share all of those things? Okay, about the brain, the head cavity brain there, the heart brain, and the gut brain, because it needs to be in alignment. And because we didn't know these things, and our parents didn't know these things either. For the most part, that they, with the different things that's going on, you have the head space, okay, that brain operating in one way, the heart brain operating in another way, and then the gut brain operating in another way. And so it causes us to be, like in this confused state, to where we're not aligned, because in the head cavity, the mind or the brain that's in the head cavity, the mind or the brain that's in the heart cavity, the heart cavity, the chest cavity, which is the heart, and then the mind or brain that's in the abdominal cavity, which is that gut or that seat of intuition, is not in alignment. But it needs to be in alignment, and we have to get it in alignment, because going back to that programming of, that hypnotic state in the first 7 years of life, we didn't have anything to do with that, right? We had no control of that. But as adults, we do. Okay? As adults, we do. The age of accountability is 13. The age of accountability is 13. What does that mean? That means that even, look, whether it was good information that was able to help us, or misinformation or miseducation or whatever, those during our first 7 years or 7 to 12 years, guess what? We're still accountable for that information or that programming. We are. It kind of seems kind of crazy, don't it? Like, we still, yes, we are. Right? And so the one thing that we can do, or there's a few things, okay, because this all comes in under that, about like autoimmune disease or illness. I'm going to say that autoimmune illnesses, cancers, and all of these other sickness, illness, diseases, debilitating conditions. Okay. Again, starts here, and it had to do with our programming in the beginning, and we can turn that around, right? We don't want to harp on that in the past, okay? Because it's the past. It ain't nothing that we can do with that besides be able to look at it from where we are right now, recognize that, man. Now, here's the thing. It just depends on where you are, right? Depends on where you are in this space and time right now, okay? So the one thing that we have to do is be honest with ourselves, right? They always say, tell the truth and shame the devil. Okay, do that. Right? Do it right within you. Okay? If it's something that you don't like, that you see in your life, that you again, you don't like it, you need to acknowledge that thing. Stop trying to hide it. Stop trying to deny it. Stop. Because it's not going to go anywhere. It's almost like that, you know how we talk about sweeping things under the rug, right? Okay. And then you're going to sweep this pile under the rug and then sweep another one under the rug. And you keep sweeping stuff up under the rug. It's going to be a huge, giant pile and you're going to trip over it all the time. Or you'll be able to see it. It's right there in the middle of the floor. You got a rug. Ooh, big, pretty rug. But it's a whole mountain that got the rug up like this. Like, then you got people that come over. And it's why is this pal? It's like a then then somebody might say something. It's a lump in the middle of your floor. What's that? Right? And then what we're gonna do? Get mad that somebody pointed out the lump that's in the middle of the rug on the floor? Like, what's that thing up under there? Okay, we have to address it. We do. Pull the rug back and clean that up. We have to stop denying that it's there. You have to look at the pink elephant in the room and say, that's a pink elephant. And what is it doing here if it's not supposed to be there? Right? Right? We have to do that. That's number one. Okay? Acknowledging that thing. And then two, if there is, and this is what I mean by this, if there's nothing that you can do, I mean, there is something that you could do about that. You got to clean that up, right? You got to move it. You got to move it away. You got to get it out. You got to get rid of it. Okay. But the other thing about acknowledging, something is you're not about to take that pile of whatever that is and then try to, I don't know, you're finna make something out of it. You're finna fix it. It's a pile of stuff that is garbage. The only thing that you can do with that is get rid of it, right? You got to take it out. You got to discard it. That's what we have to do. Okay? So discard that thing, because what is it doing? Now, here's the thing about it. When we start to see these dis-eases, right? When you see these dis-eases, that means being not at ease. Then, and it starts to manifest in the body. Do you know that is the body's loving way to let you know that there's something that's wrong and you need to address it? Because if you didn't address it at the level of what? Feeling. The level of feeling. If we didn't address it there, because, hey, I feel something is off, right? I feel something is wrong, or I feel something is not right. And then you decide that, hey, I don't know what it is, but I do know that I'm going to listen to what I feel and feel what I feel and move around to where you feel better, because you I don't know, you've got it away from you, or you've gotten away from it, or whatever, right? Instead of giving this feeling that you're getting from whatever the situation is, the benefit of the doubt. Doubt. Why are we giving doubts benefits? Has the doubt ever benefited you? Like, think about that. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Why? Why? Has that doubt ever benefited you? It probably benefited a whole lot of other people, but I don't think it ever benefited you. I'm going to be honest. It ain't ever benefit me. So I stopped giving out those benefits to doubts. Doubts are like weeds, right? Like we see in the springtime, and you have those little what are the dandelions or whatever that come up, right? And the little I forgot what you call them, but you pick them up, and the kids, that's what we used to do. We used to blow on it and stuff, pollen, all that stuff everywhere. Okay. And it looked pretty, but those are weeds underneath. It's choking up the grass and everything, right? That's what that is. That's how doubt is. And we're giving those benefits of doubt. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Okay? Because again, it never benefited you. So you allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. And if it doesn't feel right, that's discernment, right? It's discernment. And then move around or move it around. Okay. But when we don't do that, then, and we didn't address that at that level of feeling, and we allow it to continue and keep going on and keep going on and keep going on and keep going on, and it's just growing and growing and growing, and we don't address it, now it manifests itself into a sickness, an illness, a dis-ease, a debilitating condition. Now, what is an autoimmune? An autoimmune dis-ease. That is when the body is fighting itself. It starts to attack itself. Think about that. An autoimmune disease where the body is now attacking itself. Is it because something in ourselves, in our body, in our energy is attempting to let us know that something is not right, something is off, or whatever? And then we are giving those benefits of the doubt. And so we're going against our own feeling. And then what it starts to do is attack our own body, because that's exactly what we're doing when we're not allowing ourselves the natural response of feeling. The feelers, we have them for a reason, right? Emotion, which is energy in motion, because energy is never destroyed. It's only transferred, right? So maybe some bad energy is being transferred from the original host to you. And then instead of feeling like, oh, this ain't right, because we can put up energetic boundaries, right? Like, oh, nope. You're not going to transfer that to me. Return to sender, right? Or just that guard, the boundary. And I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, and allowing that negative energy in. But you feel it's not right, but you continue. And you feel it's not right, but you continue. Now, because we've done that ourselves, now the body, it's like, this is what you do. This is what you do. So I guess we're just going to follow suit and, start attacking itself, because this is what you're saying that we do. Cancer. Let's talk about that. That has to do with the emotion of remorse, regret, guilt, and where it shows up in our body tells us the area of life that we may have regret or remorse or guilt or shame about. How many people have actually healed themselves of cancer by way of changing their first of all, they started with their outer environment, right? Changing what they eat through nutrition, because that's what it's really about. It's about how we take care of ourselves and how we nurture ourselves, So they started with the nutrition. All right. Changing their environments, changing the people around that's in their environment. Okay. And then even use some alternative methods like cannabis to help with that process. And within like 90 days, they're like cancer free. I'm speaking this from witnessing it. I'm speaking it from witnessing it on multiple occasions over the past 7 years myself, right? I've seen people pass away from it as well that didn't do those things. But I've seen people who did those things that I just mentioned and healed themselves of cancer because they stopped allowing themselves to continue to feel regret, remorse, shame, and all of those feelings from whatever conditions or the relationships or work environments or even home environments and all of those things, how they were nurturing themselves through their diet and all of that changed it. And in 90 days, boom, like there's no sign of it. Right? And here's the thing about it, because how does this affect our finances? We see how it affects our health. How does it affect our finances? Well, you know what money is? It's just a manifested measure of energy. It's a manifested measure of energy. That's what money is. And so if we're looking at money like it's this big, huge thing that's bigger than us, that is how it becomes a god. Right? Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm going to put this on here. You see that? Okay. The body keeps score. Yes, it does. And I don't know, it said Facebook user, so I don't know your name. If you want to put it your name in the comments. But yes, this book right here, thank you for posting that. The Body Keeps Score. That is a great book to read, listen to, in an Audible or something like that. It keeps score. Yes. Takana, hey Takana. Yes. The Body Keeps Score. It's awesome, right? And Emotional Intelligence, Emotion Code. Those are books as well too that you can, take a look at. Like I said, listen to, purchase, because we're in a time where we have to quantum leap. We do. We're like behind the 8 ball. And these things that are coming out now, where we have access to this knowledge in order to be able to move ourselves forward and move our lives forward, our finance forward, our health forward, our relationships forward at the speed of light, right? Like quickly at the speed of light. In this time, that's exactly what we have to do. We have to do it. We don't have time to be fooling around or messing around with foolishness like we don't. I mean, as soon as you get a hint, a whiff, or whatever of, this ain't, it's called discern and avoid. For real, right? A lot of times we can really just not even go, or I'll say this, we can prevent a lot of things: sickness, illness, disease, relationship losses that were really good relationships, but we didn't know no better because of how maybe the upbringing of seeing relationships that were not so healthy. These days the word toxic. It's almost getting on my nerves, but it really is almost getting on my nerves. It's like this overused word, but but you know, it's these unhealthy relationships, you know, that really could have been good relationships, but because one or both people did not know how to approach relationships because of the upbringing and what they seen in their environment and the things that, you know, basically upheld and co-signed on those unhealthy relations, like, you know, the things that we see on TV and television shows, and I mean all of this stuff on billboards even. I mean, check it out. How many times that I've been in a predominantly wealthy neighborhood and I'm seeing I mean billboard stores and all of that, that is really um promoting healthy family and relationships, and then go into neighborhoods that are not predominantly wealthy, and it is not promoting healthy relationships and family just through the billboards and the advertisement. You know, go into a wealthy neighborhood and they have stores or bridal shops and then, you know, family friendly places the way families can go out to eat and have a good time, family fun, and you know, they're shopping where it's like home goods and furniture stores and all of this type of stuff. Jobs that's available, even, you know, offices, and just all of these things that promote healthy families and communities. And then go into another community, right? And you see billboards on divorce and child support and alimony and lack of resources and just about no jobs and no home stores or goods, and the grocery stores are, it's like a food desert. I see it all the time because I'm in all types of environments. So I see it. Right? And it's like, wow, this is interesting. Okay? And all of these things, because environment is everything. It look, environment is everything, and not only that, our bodies, okay? Our cells, our molecular structure, it responds to the environments that we're in. Some environments we don't have control over, and it's not for us to have control over. But guess what? The environment that you do have control over is yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit. What you do with your own mind, what you do with your own heart, what you do with your own gut brain, right? What you do with your own body, the environment that you create in your own home, right? You have control over that. The environment that you allow your bodies to go into. I mean, there's certain places that I do not go. I don't go to certain gas stations. I don't go to certain stores. It's sometimes I might have frequented a store, and then as soon as that energy shift, I don't go there no more. I can feel the energy shift. I will not step foot in the building. Certain people, you know, it might have been good for a minute or for a time or whatever, and then next thing you know, as soon as I feel that shift up, I gotta go. I'm not staying around to be around in a burning building. I I'm up, right? Because I got control over me. Self-control or temperance is the last fruit of the spirit to develop when you talk about the 9 fruits of the spirit. 9 is a number of completion. We got 9 planets to make up a solar system, 9 divine attributes, right? That make up character, 9 fruits of the spirit that when you operate in this character, those spiritual behaviors develop. And self-control and or temperance is the last one for a reason. It develops in the order that you see it. But that last one, temperance, it's the last one for a reason, right? But that's self-control. And then as the scriptures say, against such, there is no law. But there is no law of what? There is no law of death. And death can take on many forms. Death of relationships, death when it comes to your health, death when it comes to your social environment, death when it comes to your materials and your finances, right? Death to your emotions, your body, your psyche, your spirit, right? So that's my time. I am off for today. And so I hope that you all can take some of these things that were shared, apply it to your life. I know this was kind of impromptu, but what was shared today by Takana, look, I just saw one of her comments. She said yes, and she was saying this in regards to, because this is broadcasted pretty much everywhere because it's on YouTube and all my social medias. But we live in Chicago, right? And so when I was talking about these different environments and how you see these billboards that on one end in these wealthy environments and things like that, you see all of the family friendly things and the pictures of family together, and the mom is with the children and the dad is there playing and tossing the ball and all that stuff. And then you go over on what? 95th and Stony Island, right? Right there at that viaduct. Okay. The huge billboards, like you coming from the suburbs and riding right on to Stony at 95th, and you see on both sides there are two big billboards that you can tap into, and one is like divorce, child support, and this, that, and the other. And then right across from it, I remember these two just recently. One had the divorce, child support, alimony, all of that, and then the other one on the other side said black love. I don't know about y'all, but if y'all want to look up this movie, old movie. Look, I'm talking about old movie, but it is old. It came out in like 1980. I think it was like 88, 88, 89 or something like that, called They Live with Rowdy Piper. If you can find that movie, I want you to watch it. Now, I think I was a freshman in high school, or an eighth grade, or a freshman in high school when that movie came out. But I promise you, when I first saw it, I knew exactly what that movie meant. I knew exactly what it meant. Okay, the message that was behind it. And I was very conscious from that point moving forward about billboards and advertisements and all of that type of stuff, because it sends a message. It sends a message. It's programming, and it programs the subconscious mind. And when you come in contact with it all the time in your environment, okay, in your community, in your environment, in your neighborhood, it's programming the people. But watch that movie. They Live. Find it. It's almost kind of hard to find these days too, but you can find it, but watch it. Okay, so that's my time. I am out. Coach Cotton. We're going to talk later on today. All right. So you all take care. Have a wonderful day. And I will see you all again next Friday for Freedom Friday. Peace.